Where's the love, dog? Like Black Eyed Peas said it. Where is the love?
What do you mean?
Bro?
Where is the love, bro?
Where is
this
it?
is hip hop.
No, but you can beef without talking crazy to another man. Like you can beef without saying, "Hey, listen, you might not be around next week." Like that doesn't. What does that add? That doesn't need to be there. I know it's hard and it. Listen, I know I'm the minority on that. I know I'm the minority, but I'm never going to change.
You know what I mean?
Nah, it's the violence is crazy.
Can't think about it any longer. I won't fight about it, won't hold you back. I've been torn apart from the inside now, running quick in the return. And that love you gave me, you can have it back. I don't have it in me to remember back when you told me.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the 30% podcast, episode 169, one away from 170. Quick maths. My name is Sam. I am here with Afam to present to you the Kenyan music industry in various forms. We just break down things here and discuss, learn some things ourselves, teach when we can. Hope to see Kenyan music taken seriously, Kenyan artists taken seriously, Kenyan art taken seriously, paid more and played more. That's the goal. That's why we do it every single week for 3 years now. But we love doing it. Afam, what's going on?
Yeah, man, love doing it. Listen. We make sure we deliver this podcast every week, no matter the challenges.
No matter the challenges,
a fine African man like myself can I don't give up. I always stay positive.
Yeah,
and make sure the product is delivered. Right.
Okay. I mean, inside jokes never work on podcasts. Like that's like rule 101. Or inside, like you have to let the people in, tell them what's going on in your life so that they know, and you're not just secluding.
The people know so much about what's going on in our lives. You don't think so?
All right. That's what I meant. But yes, no, actually, no, they don't. So many things happen that no one knows. And no one will know. How are you doing? Apart from challenges, technological challenges.
I know, man. I'm doing good, bro. Like, I think I could say I'm very much acclimatized. No, that's not good English. I'm very acclimatized to being back home. It's been a month now. And
sounded like good English to me.
I thought it wasn't. Yeah, so I'm getting used to being back home, meeting people, doing things, being more active, going for events, that kind of thing, figuring out the next steps. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, it's a lot of learning, and it's a lot of optimism.
Wait, now that you're here, sorry, you're talking about optimistic and I'm about to talk about Mandamano. If another Mandamano broke out, will you be on the streets now that you're here? Oh.
Bro, listen. We have to fight for our country, man. Especially considering the elections are next year, man. This is serious.
This
goes beyond us as individuals. So yeah, man, we have to be out there. So yeah, aside from everything else, I haven't been reading as much. I feel like I've been mostly working on music. So if anybody, do you think anybody's waiting for music from me? Hey, if there's somebody out there who's waiting.
Not a one.
Wow, what a friend.
We might have to. It might be RIP to Afam's book club at this point. It might be RIP to Afam's book club already. Maybe bring it out once in a while.
I think you misheard me. I was asking if anybody's looking forward to me making music.
Oh. jumped into it.
Which is why that
clearly
sounded
shows how I
so
feel.
mean. That sounded so mean. Oh my God.
so
Do you know
sorry,
how
man.
mean that sounded
I'm
from
so
my point
sorry.
of view?
I didn't say dead it completely. I said it could make an appearance. Music. Yeah, I'm sure your fans are waiting for music. Sorry, man.
Well, hopefully. I'm hoping they are, but
Tease something. Drop something.
So
Give us a single, man, before the project, if that's what you're working on.
No, I've been teasing some things. I've been teasing some things on social media. If you know, you know. Yeah.
jokes.
So just be working on a lot of. It's not an inside joke.
Inside
oh my
information.
God, Sam.
Sorry.
Why?
All right. Okay. My bad.
Anyway,
Okay. I'll stop being obnoxious. Go
yes,
ahead,
you're being
go ahead.
obnoxious. So anyway, yes, working on music and also, oh yeah. Since we can't have the book club, we can have the Duncan Egg Club. I still haven't watched the new episode of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Those of you who are watching it, those of you who know, you know it's a trial of the 7 day. Oh my God, it's a trial of the 7. It's so exciting, Sam. You don't even understand how exciting it is to be in this fandom at this
really
moment
don't.
in time.
I have no
So
idea.
obviously, by the time this podcast comes out, like everybody who is invested in A Night of the Seven Kingdoms will have watched the episode. I haven't because it still hasn't. Well, it has come out, but it just came out. So essentially, very excited about that. Can't wait. And yes, that's basically how I am.
Fantastic. Thank you
How
for
are
that.
you, Sam?
Thank you for that update. I said you're not going to ask me how I am. I'm all right. I'm cool. Just working. I'm working head down, socks up, getting to the bag. Well, being creative. That's all. And trying to figure out how to get outside a little bit more now. I think the year has broken itself in. The January is over. Valentine's is over. So now we can actually begin there. I've been hiding up until this 15th. Now I'm outside. So.
Oh yeah, sorry to interrupt, but happy Valentine's to all you guys. I know now that love, man, love wins. So happy Valentine's to you guys who celebrate.
Hope you played into the capitalism and bought spent some money that you didn't have. Spent some money that you didn't have to impress someone who would otherwise be impressed by you. I need to be outside. We're outside this week. We went out this week. We were outside 1 RPM, and We Are Nubia hosted their listening party for their upcoming project that should be dropping this week, if you're listening to this. And yeah, how was your experience? How was that? How did you like being in the presence of people again?
So, I got there later than Sam. So I walk in, and there was the people at the reception, and they gave me like this nice card with the artwork, and they gave me a keychain. And they were like, yeah, okay. You're here with the 30% podcast, easy. So I'm like, media. So
that's also
I'm
weird. Like, I like just being Sam.
bit.
I don't like being the 30% podcast outside. Like, I just want to be Sam.
Sam says he likes just being. So Sam says he likes just being Sam. I'll tell you something. I walk in. There's drinks on the left. I'm like, ooh, they're doing cocktails. Nice. I walk in and I see Sam there posted up being super industry, just like chopping it up with everyone. Like, I'm seeing Sam there with Kinoti. They're just chopping it up. I'm like, whoa. I see him with Hafari. I'm like, yo, Sam, yo. So I'm just seeing Sam there, like, bro. I'm like, I'm there. So now I'm there, like, just being quiet. I'm like, wait, Sam, like, who are all these people? So Sam is just here conversing with people. I'm like, whoa, wow. I feel like I'm just like, I was just watching Sam in his element. So I say, what's up to Sam? I'm like, bro, let's yo.
He's hyping it up. He's putting sauce on it. I was just in there sitting.
I'm really not. This is exactly what happened.
I was in there sitting and talking to people. He's putting a bunch of sauce on it.
there's no sauce. Me, I'm just there. I'm like, Sam, teach me, sensei. Like, teach me your ways of how to be like so industry. So anyway, Sam is there. We also link up with Abigail Diana from Ongeza Volume. She's there as well. So it's a vibe. We all sit down. We decide, so we just start talking. Industry talk. Sam is just putting me on, getting me up to speed with what's been happening. So I'm just like, easy. And so it took a bit of time before we actually got to the listening. I'm not going to lie. It took a little bit of time, but it was a good period of time to kind of like, talk to people and see what's up. It was at the 1RPM offices. It was really well laid out. It was nice to see my guy Philo, who we mentioned earlier, he had the promotion to A&R, or he was hired as an A&R for 1RPM. So it was nice to see him. And yeah, man, so after the wait, talking to people, We Are Nubia came out, and they actually looked the part. I was actually quite impressed by how they presented themselves. So it was nice to see the girls there. So they took a front seat, and then they just started the music. So that was interesting part number one, because like it just started. Like I anticipated that they would give me a little bit of a preamble about the project or whatever, but we just went right into it, and we listened to track one. And I don't know if I want to say, are we allowed to say the names of the songs? Anyway,
probably not. I don't know. We have no permission.
Yeah, I don't know. But there's one song. Yeah, track one was cool. I think it's track two, the one that got like so many replays. Was it track two?
My memory is horrible.
I think it was track two.
No.
So
No, because two they played. I think D&D was two, because that's going to be on the project, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, D&D is on the project. Anyway, there was one song which was actually really, really well received by the crowd, and everyone was just vibing with it. So let's see if that becomes a hit. And when we were listening to the music, Sam and I were like, like how do you know what becomes a hit and what doesn't?
Yeah.
Because my question was, if you were in that setting and you had never, and D&D had never come out before, like listening to it in that setting for the first time, would you know it's a hit? That was the question that kept playing in my mind. And I know because we're living in a world where D&D is a hit, most people will say, yeah, of course, I know that's a hit. But would you really?
I mean, it does sound...
I don't know.
What you do is look at the elements and try and see whether these elements is it catchy? Is it memorable? Are the lyrics easy enough to remember and sing back? Are the melodies like simple? Because complex melodies, it's harder for the masses to get into complex melodies. Only a few times are complex songs hits. Hits tend to be more on the simpler side. So just all those things. But really, you never know what would become a hit. You really do never know. It's subject to the artist's timeline, mood, just how they put out song. It's subject to the climate outside, the social climate outside. It's subject to the popularity of the people doing the music, like the producers and the artists. There are just so many elements. You can't really control it. A lot of people say that they're able to manufacture hits. I think out of all the songs that they do, probably like 10% of those actually become hits. So it's not like a hard and fast rule. There's some people who are just really good at making songs, but then again, it's subject to their popularity and just the vibe around them and marketing. Marketing is a huge part of hits, and also now that's separate from being able to create a hit. So sitting there, at least from that room, and just when they played that song, you can tell like that's something people are gravitating towards, and that sometimes is a good indicator. It doesn't always work out where the listening party crowd dictate what the hit is in terms of what they like. Like the once you release it to the masses, you once you set the track free, that's when you really know what it is. But no, like people really enjoyed it. it got a lot of reception. They seem to enjoy it also. They pick favorites.
So yeah, that was an interesting like element or aspect to the listening party because I mean they felt so they definitely had favorites, and I think it's human to have favorites in a project. So maybe this is a question I can ask you, and maybe it's like an approach thing. Like people have different ways they prefer to approach such certain situations. So me personally, if I am like in somebody's team, like an artist team, I'm like, for all the songs that are on your project, you have to like sell all of them. Like you have to be like, yo, this is the music that's coming out.
Oh, which song do you like the best?
I am so excited about these songs.
I love all of them.
No. That's not what I'm saying. No, Sam, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's okay to be like, this is my favorite song. That's fine. But then it's not like, I felt a bit awkward because there was some songs they were like, especially the last song, it felt like they were like 50-50 on whether it needs to be on the project. And I'm just like, if you are an artist, you don't want to transfer that feeling to the audience because then it's going to even give us doubts of whether we like the song, you know. So that's just one thing I felt like, but I will say We Are Nubia are still a developing group in the scene. So this is still them kind of getting onto their feet and getting used to being artists in this music landscape. So they are going to do some things which are a little bit, you could be like, okay, well, there's still elements of artist development needed here. But that was the only thing that I was like, that's I don't know. Maybe I think you guys should be excited about all the songs you're releasing. Otherwise, why are you releasing those songs? So that was just one thing. But other than that, everything was really nice. Like those guys, like shout out to Bilha and Mutuma. We've had them on the podcast. You guys go check that episode out if you can. They lead the team at 1 RPM here in Kenya. So they were very hospitable to everyone and very good hosts. So shout out to them as well. There was one other thing that happened that was very interesting. So a lot of you people would probably listen to Ochiko and Ochikore. So he was there and he went up on stage and was like, yo, you know, I helped them write some of these songs, etc. And I find it very interesting, Sam, that like songwriting and songwriters in general are so much less shrouded in mystery, as it's been historically. Because I feel like songwriters used to be like, yo, let's never find out like the songwriters helping this whole thing happen. But now it's like more like, yo, no, Yaya Tajiri helped me write this song. Ochiko helped me write this. So it's like, I wonder why this culture of songwriters has become, and I'm happy that it's a thing, but I wonder like what spawned this like openness, you know, with, yo, I have songwriters helping me like make music and stuff like that. So that was interesting.
I think it's just a progression. We've seen the producers come out of that, like the recent couple of years. We've seen producers come out of that mysterious place where you don't really know who made the song and don't really care actually who made the song. But then now that with this new age of attribution in music, more people, it's easier for people to be in the limelight. And it's easier for people to be in the limelight without having to be superstars, right? So the producer can put his name on the song without having to actually act the part and just get your recognition in that way. So it's simpler. And then that obviously now will lead to that same person wanting to get recognition for what they're doing because the recognition is there to be taken. Back then, it really wasn't there to be taken. No one wanted to talk about the producer or the songwriter. And so it's just becoming a thing. I think it's a trend. It's part of the trend to be cool. I mean, to shed light to who wrote the song. It's not completely popular though. Not everyone is doing it. I think people are still people still want to maintain the illusion that they are behind all the songs and they wrote all the songs, but then you don't know how how very few times that actually happens. But there's still people writing their own music, so shout out to them.
Yeah. I feel like it's the veil has kind of been lifted a little bit. So it's no longer such a mysterious element of the music industry. I think the last thing that was interesting was Zaituni was in attendance, and somebody in the crowd during the Q&A was like, "No, I actually wish Zaituni can come up here and perform D&D with the girls." Which
that always
me
makes
personally,
that always rubs me the wrong way when you just grab a random artist who was just here to enjoy the evening and celebrate her friends, and it's like, "Oh, I know, come sing the tune for us." It's like, no, leave me alone. I'm not singing nothing.
Because like Zaituni was there like as support, and obviously I know artists usually have they have rituals they do before
you have to
performing.
prepare.
You know, like
you have to prepare.
you have to
drink you some of that
and stuff
lemon
like
water.
that.
I don't know, walk around in circles 5 times. There's things that people do to get themselves ready for perperformance. Then you just catch someone off guard.
So it's just
shabby looking.
like she was just got off guard.
She didn't sound bad.
Delivered.
She sounded good. She's talented enough.
Yeah, she sounded good. Yeah. So she came on stage and they performed D&D, and that was a good moment. It was very off the cuff, spontaneous, but that was an amazing moment to see them perform it live.
Yeah.
So shout out to them, and shout out to all the people who were there. It was really nice to get to know some of the people because, networking, right?
It was cool. I thought they would have released a single on that day, like to prepare for the album. But then I guess they're keeping all the songs in the tuck. Of course, D&D is on there, and that's a song that's already been out. So I think, yeah. One of the songs I think has been released that's on there. Can't really remember which right now. But then, yeah. So it's. I thought that they would have done that, but maybe they have their reasons not to have done that. If that makes sense. But anyways, we're looking forward to it dropping this week. Let's see how they follow up their previous songs, and also shout out to Run.
Yeah.
Run. That's a good partnership.
Yes.
I think Run and them really go well together.
Yeah.
Run is a very talented individual, and so hopefully we can see them continue working more, and it'll be good to see them also work with other producers and just see how their different styles blend. But no, shout out to Wuod Nubia.
And the last thing that stood out was they were asked, "Yo, why are you guys barefoot on your cover?" And they gave the best answer ever. They were like, "Yo, we're grounded, but we're standing on business."
Of course you like that. That's the kind of stuff you like. That guy likes that. He even wrote it down in his notes. Afam loves it.
Yo, I love that, man.
Man.
Anyway, on to not so wholesome news. It looks like the beef is progressing, Sam.
Oh man, yikes! Right from praise to beef. From praise to beef. That's what we're doing here.
From
That's
praise
crazy.
to beef, bro.
Toxic, and
so,
the Brooklyn boys are going at it now. Now they've actually released diss tracks, which is it's getting serious. But yeah. Afam loves this kind of stuff too. I'm just going to point all of it at you.
Bro,
I'm going to put all of it on you.
How is this? Why are you putting all of this on me, man?
You're saying
Everybody
that
has
as you
been
smile,
it.
as you're excited. Look at you. You're just hyped to say. Anyway, go ahead, bro.
No, it's not just me. I feel like the whole industry has been trying for this thing to happen. So
the whole industry, and it's just you.
As of today, there's just been 2 diss tracks been released, or that have been released. So Mr. Right and AJ dropped this song Steamer, and this was in response to Toxic Lyrically's, let's say, his rant that he did on Instagram Live, where we talked about this last week, where he kind of said, "Yo, y'all need to stay in your lane. You're messing with the balance. Why are you trying to kind of hop on my sound, etc, etc." Mr. Right dropped a video where he said essentially, "Yo, me, I'm defending myself. I have the right to make the music that I want to make. I can hop on dancehall. I can hop on Afrobeats. I can hop on Amapiano, whatever. You know what I mean?" Which is such a logical argument in my head, anyway. So they dropped the song Steamer. It has a music video. I'm sure you all have checked that out already. Me personally, I don't mind the imagery. maybe some people have issues with the imagery.
I'm some people. It's me. I'm some people. No, that kind of thing. It just gets me heated. But then I realize that my stance on this thing is a little bit too conservative, if I can use that word in that sense. Some people say it's just art. I don't like that sort of imagery in art. I don't like that kind of message in art itself. But then there's the arguments that it's just art, or it's just we watch the same things in movies, we see the same things in books and everything. So never said that was okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the game.
Imagery.
It's
Sorry.
the game.
The imagery I'm talking about is just the whole gun holding and threatening, and it's a lot of violence. And I understand that's an unpopular opinion, especially with people who really love hip hop. But it always irks me. It always rubs me the wrong way, because I know that's now, if this all stays in the studio, that's a different story. Like, but then so many times people have been talking crazy, and then one thing gets to another, and then all of a sudden now we're hearing stories of I don't know who did what to what, and it's just like, why? It's so unnecessary. So that's my whole thing. Like, I know it's a very hard stance, but then where's the love, dog? Like Black Eyed Peas said it. Where is the love?
What do you mean?
Bro?
Where is the love, bro? This is hip hop.
No, but you can beef without talking crazy to another man. Like, you can beef without saying, "Hey, listen, you might not be around next week." Like that doesn't. What does that add? That doesn't need to be there. I know it's hard, and it. Listen, I know I'm the minority on that. I know I'm the minority, but I'm never going to change.
You know what I mean?
No, it's the violence is crazy. I don't know. I'm not a big fan.
Okay.
Let me just say it this way. I'm just not a big fan of violence in hip hop, especially the way it is. And hip hop doesn't have a very good resume in terms of handling that. Like, too many times have we seen it escalate, and not even the pop scene. Like, behind closed doors, like, people beef with each other, and you just never.
All I'm gonna say is I agree with you for the point that you or what she said, essentially saying that you don't want this to become more than it is and leave the studio. That I agree with, because you never want to see that. But the bravado, listen. All these artists, that's what they always rap about. It's the bravado of being, your street, your this, your that, whatever. It's compelling. It's compelling stuff.
No,
you know what I mean?
not,
So it gets the people going, man. So
people shouldn't go for that.
yeah. So essentially, Steamer was a diss, in my opinion, really well done, actually, and. The whole, for me, from what I got, was the whole premise was Toxic Lyrically and the rest of his crew, being in, how the morgues and whatever have like the cooler, what do you call them? The refrigerating units that they keep bodies in and stuff. Okay, that's very morbid. So now Toxic Lyrically's response was titled Dump Site, where it's like, y'all wouldn't even have the chance to be in a morgue or whatever. Like, we'll just leave you rotting in a dump site. And I was like, wow, these guys are they're really playing on the imagery here. So Toxic Lyrically's response was interesting. I feel like I'm not gonna lie, if I'm being honest, I feel like Toxic Lyrically has a little bit more street authenticity
right now.
He just feels a little bit more like, he can back his rap. So when Toxic says some stuff, it's like, okay, and that's what he was essentially saying on his response. He was kind of calling them out and being like, you'll talk a lot on your songs, but I don't know if you can back it up. And he's like, when you guys were over here like on the internet popping off, us, we were actually being real thugs, like we were actually living the life. So he says that in the songs, and I'm like, hey, okay, these guys are actually serious. So it's exciting. I think if we're being realistic, this is a very, very big moment, especially for Brooklyn boys. Let's be realistic here. Listen, I'm not biased. I am sometimes I'm objective, and I can admit to this. Brooklyn Boys have been a little bit cold in the past year. They've still been releasing music, but I can't lie, the whole drill movement has
it hasn't
really
had the
slowed
impact.
down.
They've not had the impact that they previously had in the past couple of years, 3-4 years.
And this is a global thing. This is not just in Kenya. Like drill as a sound has really slowed down even in other countries and other markets. So it's not just a Brooklyn Boys thing. People just moved on from drill. Like drill was really massive in like COVID times.
See, that's why they're trying to get on dancehall, and then now they're trying to step on it.
But they can. They can if they want to.
Oh my guys,
you know what I mean? They can. They're allowed to do whatever they want to do. So I will admit that this means so much for Brooklyn Boys. And now that Toxic Lyrically has issued a response, he's in it. So let me be transparent with you guys. Before, when Sam and I were doing pre-production, we were kind of asking the question, has Toxic Lyrically gotten to a point where he's too big to respond to certain things? And we were kind of speculating, will he actually respond to Brooklyn Boys? And he has, right? But now that he has, he's in it.
But Toxic, from online, you just know that Toxic is with it. Like he's ready. He might not be too big. Like he's ready to get strappy.
But Sam,
get scrappy too.
Sam,
strappy and scrappy.
But now that we're scrapping. So we're counting now, and for me, it's 1-0 Brooklyn Boys. I don't think
Oh, no.
Toxic Lyrically's response was good enough to like do much. So it's 1-0 Brooklyn Boys.
Also, is that fair though? Because there's 2 Brooklyn Boys and just 1 Toxic Lyrically. Like it's
this is the cards.
1v2.
No. These are the cards that were dealt, man.
Is a 2v1 fair, man?
It's too bad. It's too bad, bro. That's just how it is, bro. He's the one who was coming at so many people. He should have singled like individuals out, but he was being vague. So even them, they'll just, listen, man, I assume what you are saying applies to me. So both of us were coming. So, bro, I think,
if you have that level of mischief, you should be able to
deal with it.
You should be able to deal with it. You should be able to have bars for everyone who you call out. You can. And I don't think he's going to like take that into. That's just my brain. I don't think he was worried about that. Or it's going to be tracks released.
Okay.
So
yeah, Sam. So progressing this conversation, what would you like to see happen? And do you think ultimately this is something that could not only bring a lot of eyes onto what's happening right now in the scene? Do you think this is something that could also expose our industry to outside ears? Like, do you think this could become big enough that other people take notice of what's happening? Because beef tends to have that effect, especially in hip hop, where it just brings attention to what's happening. And for me personally, barring anything happens outside of the studio, I think this could potentially be really good for the scene. And yes, Toxic Lyrically has been having like hits, and he just released a song with Meja, and it's already on 800,000. Meja released a song featuring Toxic Lyrically, and it's already on 800,000 views. But I do feel like he's still been looking for. He also released Low Key, but Low Key didn't really do. It's done well, but like it hasn't like caught fire. So he also does need something to happen like on a large scale.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, in terms of, I feel like it would be cool. It's something to watch within. I don't know how much this goes outside of the Kenyan scene. And now I could be wrong on that. But yeah, beef, like you said, beef always has a way of bringing eyes. But then now my question is, does it bring the right eyes? Like, are these people actually invested in hip hop, or is it just the drama? Because the drama is cool. Then after the drama is done and they diss each other, and I mean, they drop tracks, and 5 tracks, 6 tracks in, guys are like, all right, cool. Because we actually saw that recently with, I don't know who was beefing, but then in the American hip hop market. And guys were really excited in the beginning. I wish I could tell the name if I remember.
This is Joey Badass.
Yeah.
With the entire West Coast.
They were really excited in the beginning and like, oh, this is cool. Like this is new. Like we have something, like there's some life in this. There's hip hop. And then 5 diss tracks later, people are like, all right, now we're done. Like this is getting too much. So that also could happen here. Of course, it's to be seen. So we'll see how it goes. Again, hopefully it just stays in the studio. And yeah, man, they get creative. They've really they're responding to each other. They're not just like releasing tracks, like they're actually listening and responding. People usually just have like a whole bunch of this templates
and using each other's bars against each other. Which I love.
I like what they did. Well, on both ends. So I am neutral so far. I'm neutral. I'm a spectator.
You have to pick sides. No. You have to pick sides, man. You can never be on the fence.
No, I'm neutral. I'm in the middle. I'm a spectator. I want to see what's going on.
Well, I am going to say, guys, I'm on Brooklyn Boys' side. So listen, let's. That's where I am. That's where I am. But I genuinely think it's 1-0 right now. It's 1-0 to B-Boys. So. It is what it is. Me, if it's me, bro, I'm being strategic. Just observe how Kendrick Lamar went about that beef. Bro, you have to have like 10 of them ready. 10 of them ready by the end of the week. 10. And then you just know, okay, if he does this, I'll drop this one. If he does this, I'll drop this. If he says this, I'll drop this other one. And you make sure you step on anything he does. Anyway, let's see how it pans out. Sam, what else happened in the industry?
There's a couple of things. Now, there's a few things that we feel that are important in terms of music and marketing and that aspect of things. Do we go? There's two things: DistroKid or TikTok. Which one do we? News. Which one do we want to go first?
It's up to you. Which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's go. Let's talk about TikTok. Let's talk about TikTok first. TikTok is thinking about shifting how they and I'll just try and summarize this in the simplest way possible. But it's thinking about how they pay out to creators, specifically musicians. So how it is reportedly is currently, first, TikTok is really known for viral music, right? And so your song, people get like a little piece of your song that does really well, and then they make content based on it, and like hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of different TikTok videos based on your song. And how that works currently, reportedly, is that you just get a payout once for the use of that song, and so that means that views in terms of just the amount of people who use it doesn't really count. It just counts for that one. Now, this has to do with their monetization system and all that, and I don't fully understand that. But then, so it just counts once, the initial use of that song and how it blows up. But they're thinking of changing it to more of a per play thing, where it's like a Spotify, where it's like you get paid per view. So if 100,000 people use your song for their reels, then you get they'll calculate what that is, and then now you get paid for each of those in whatever the amount they set it to be. So that's the gist of what's happening. I think it's interesting. It's an interesting suggestion. It's an interesting suggestion. Just so that it accounts for how viral your song goes, you know. And so that's the whole thing. Now, of course, for them to impact this, they have to. There's still a lot of things that need to be worked out. Firstly, I don't think that the TikTok monetization in this region, at least in Africa, because this is where we are, is the best. So they need to figure that out before they figure this new thing out first, and then just whether or not it's going to be rolled worldwide, or that's going to be a thing where it's just popular in the bigger TikTok markets. That's the gist of it. What do you how do you feel about this?
Sounds like common sense to me. First of all, the original plan just makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like the whole being paid like based off of the initial like sync payment.
Yeah.
So I'm reading here. It says that distributors, including DistroKid and CD Baby, have previously warned artists that a TikTok video receiving millions or even billions of views would not generate additional royalties beyond the original sync payment.
Crazy.
Unless the music was reused in a new video format, such as a challenge, duet, or stitch. For me, it's just common sense. Like, I don't even have much of an opinion other than, yes, like, let's pay people per the plays. Like, that just makes sense to me. I don't understand why this hasn't been happening.
Yeah. Then that adds. I mean, I guess maybe part of their thinking is because they're already paying per play for video, right? So that's just an extra expense now to pay per play for video and for song. Because then now people have the incentive to create different. We might end up seeing more of the similar style content with just little tweaks, geographical tweaks, outfit changes, but it's just the same type of content with the same song. And then that's how people could possibly just milk this. But then it is a good idea. It's a good idea. It seems logical. Right. So let's see.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. The previous system just seems illogical. And actually, I don't know how they've gotten away with that for so long.
It's true. Sometimes you don't know that. Sometimes until something big like this happens, you really don't know how guys have been. Like, if you look into these contracts, you don't know how things have been functioning. Like, what's this? How did you get away with this? It's crazy.
So it looks like they're saying here as well, the change will also apply to derivative content, such as challenges and remixes, using those sounds. And those sounds will independently generate royalties based on their total views. And I think that's fair. You know what I mean? So for me personally, this is a common sense thing. So as much as they're saying this change won't happen immediately, I'm glad that that's a conversation that's being had, because it just makes sense.
Yeah, sometimes Sam, we need a little bit of common sense in the music industry. Like, it's very common sense tends to favor artists more. Maybe that's why the industry doesn't use a lot of common sense when they're paying out artists or figuring out the monetization styles. But common sense tends to favor artists, so we need more common sense.
So, speaking of the term derivatives, that seems to be the key word for the music industry. I want to say in this year, I think derivatives is going to be a big thing. What do I mean? So Spotify is actually really excited by the prospect of using AI as the next big thing as how they will pay artists. So and we reported about the deals that UMG and Sony went into with Udio.
Yep.
And we said that, they're kind of looking to make like this platform. We don't really know much about what it's going to be or how it's going to look like, but it's going to be the big thing that's rolled out in the music industry in 2026. And I think it's going to hinge on derivatives. What do I mean? So you know how the song Papute by Stromae came out, the AI version, and everyone was using it on TikTok. And people were like, yo, guys, this isn't the original song, like blah, 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 blah. But I think that's a test in the sense that, that's just like a case study, because people were like, wait, people love this remix that was done by AI. And so I think the next approach is having users use AI, so just general listeners, or like users of Spotify, for example, use AI to generate remixes of catalog that's already out there, create those remixes, and then the industry is going to monetize those tracks, and the artists, the labels, and I'm not very sure, and I'm not very clear on this,
as well.
But maybe even the people who create those remixes will also have a stake in the royalties that are generated from that. It looks like this is the next big thing, and Spotify is like, yo. So Sam. So basically, the huge argument that the labels have been having with Suno, for example, especially Suno, is you can still download the music off the platform. That's the main reason why they haven't been open to signing a deal with Suno yet. I think the only big three that are signed with Suno is Warner. So basically, the thing that Udio guaranteed UMG and Sony was that, fine, we've had this model where people were able to download the AI music that they generated in our platform, but now we're going to put them behind what they're calling a walled garden, where essentially you can't download the music. All that music stays in platform, right?
So
Now,
more streaming.
Spotify are like, yeah, so that there's no so essentially what the labels are afraid of is what happened with Papute, for example, because that song was competing with the original. You know, some kids, that's going to be their entry to the song. Some kids will listen to the original song and be like, wait, no, that doesn't sound like the song.
Yeah.
They'll think the AI song was the original.
It's the original,
so it ends up competing. So the point is, Spotify are like, yo, we have the platform. We have the platform where people can do this within in-house and not have to feel the need to download the music. So that looks like that's the next frontier. That looks like what the industry is focusing on. I don't know how much it's going to like catch in terms of traction, but it looks like that's where people are betting their money.
You see, AI companies been valued in the billions, and they just
Suno is worth $2.45 billion.
Crazy, right?
Dollars.
Crazy. And there's a lot of money in that. So of course the industry is going to want to figure out a way to, just like with streaming, the industry is like, all right, let's figure out a way to get deals and to figure out how to integrate these new technologies into our systems. That's just the thing that's going to happen. So we are probably going to see more of this in different ways. And yeah, there's just something to watch out for. Of course.
So Sam, here's my worry, and sorry to interrupt. Do you think we have gotten to a point as a society where it's like people are averse to creating new content? Because it's like everything is about reusing old content or creating content from old catalog. Right? Like even with this thing that's supposedly the next frontier and the new big thing, it's all about leveraging things that were already done and then reimagining them using AI. Like, why are we so afraid to create new things? There's been so much discourse even about like, well, is there a sound for the 2020s? Like because it's like everything is about harkening back to the Y2K era or this and the third. Like everyone, like even Bruno Mars, like the whole thing is sounding like the 70s. Like, why are we so afraid to create new things?
I don't think, and I don't want it to make it seem like there's not new stuff happening. I think it's, for me, the way I see it, it's just playing to the masses. So the most popular things and many of the most popular people and creatives see that there's value in nostalgia, and so they're going to put that on and they're going to use that to advance their creation and whatever they decide to make. However, I think there's just beneath that's just very visible because that's pop and that's what the masses have gravitated towards. So it seems like it's the biggest thing, but I do think that there's other creatives and there's people doing new things in film, in art, dance, fashion that are new and they're interesting. They just don't get enough light because it's just not as interesting as nostalgia, unfortunately. So that's kind of what we're struggling with. I don't know. There is a lot of recycled stuff out there, and it takes real creativity to make that interesting. A lot of people just slap it and hope that the nostalgia does the marketing for them. It doesn't really do much.
But
so it's yet to be seen.
We're really squarely in this era now, because it looks like even, bro, like consider DistroKid was in the news because it was being sold, right?
Yeah.
And it was valued at around like $2 billion or something like that.
Dang.
And DistroKid has been around for time. Suno hasn't, but it's already valued at 2.4 billion. So it's just like, bro, it's like the AI companies are like booming right now. And this is proof. Like, so Suno they just kind of released like the people who they have hired recently. And this is proof that the industry is really shifting towards AI. So they just hired Athena Yasaman, who worked at Twitch and Spotify. They hired Liana Bremond, who was a former music supervisor at Peloton. They hired Kenneth Herman, who worked in marketing and partnership at Splice. They hired Elena Luvis, who was consulting for Atlantic Records. They hired Bryony Ibar, who held an A&R position at Motown Records, Capitol, and Sony Music. And I just say this to say, all these top people in the industry are all moving to AI companies. Yeah. So it's kind of crazy. But here we are, I guess. Can't fight it.
Can't fight it. You just have to go along with it, adapt, or get left behind.
For real,
it sucks. But what can we say? It's the new in thing. Yeah, briefly. Do you have? I mean, you briefly mentioned DistroKid. How do you feel? How I mean, this. First off, this is interesting. Like, apart from the news itself, it's interesting. Like, I was just thinking about it. Is DistroKid selling? Or at this point, they're thinking about selling. They've not sold yet, but they're thinking about selling because...
Thinking about selling.
Yeah, thinking about it because, I mean, they're huge. Distributing like up to 40% of all music that's distributed, the CD Babies and the TuneCores and all of those. DistroKid has like the market share of that. Like, is it a thing where they feel like they're better housed under a separate entity? And maybe it's a next step for the business, or do you think it's one of those projection things where they're saying that, okay, maybe there's a shift in the industry that we haven't seen as the consumers, but they've seen a shift in the industry as being having the lion's share of the market, having the market share and market dominance. Do you think that they're seeing a shift and they're like, okay, let's cash out quickly or figure out a way to get ahead of that?
So answering this question is kind of multi-layered because it looks like there's a lot happening. So it seems like DistroKid is majority, or like they have a huge, like there's a firm called the Insight Holdings Group that has a huge stake within DistroKid, and they're actively seeking to purchase another distribution company that's big in Europe called Zebralution. So I don't know if this is a case of, they're done. So it seems like Insight Holdings Group see more potential, I guess, in Zebralution for scaling up than they do with DistroKid. Maybe they see as though, because I think DistroKid right now is at its peak. Like, this is the peak of everything right now, because the amount of music that's been distributed on the platform, especially also because of AI and all that's happening as well. They may just see like, let's get out at the peak and get into something else. And since they also have the technical know-how, they can invest in a company that's similar. I don't know if AI has anything to play or has a role to play in this. Maybe the way we distribute music is going to change, and they already know that and are positioning themselves to be somewhere else. There's a lot of speculation. All this is just speculation either way, because it's not a certain bet that DistroKid will be sold, but they are looking to be sold. So listen, the music industry landscape is just changing. I don't know what this says for independent Good luck to you guys.
That's honestly, man. Good luck to the creators because AI is trying to break down take your jobs. Good luck to the guys distributing music. 'Cause now, just good luck, man. Like good luck to you, man. Godspeed. I wish you well. It's
Godspeed.
we are cooked. We are cooked. Yeah. Is there anything else?
Yeah, we are.
Is there anything else? Or we get into some music?
Let's get into some new music. What was tingling, or what tingled your ear hairs? We haven't said that in a while.
We shouldn't have said it actually. The first thing that caught my attention was Nameless and Mario's recreation of Nasinzia Part 2. And I was like, all right. When I first saw it, I was like, I don't know what this is going to be. I saw Nameless there, so I'm like, okay.
Back to nostalgia. That's back to nostalgia.
Yeah, so I was like, is this going to be one of those things where it's like a completely different song? Because some people do that, where they call it the same title, then it's got a completely different song, but then sort of like similar concepts. But no, this one's just the same song. It's the exact same song, just a different beat. Nameless is on it. They did the whole... do you know how Nameless did the whole play on words? In the first original, in the original song, Mario did that as well here. I think Nameless's verse is just the previous verse, just redone. But then, yeah, this is interesting. Do you want to? Is this something that you want to keep seeing? Like, do you want to start saying like guys going back to their old hits and recreating them, or should this be like a very novel thing? I would vote for novel. Like, I don't want to see all the previous hits recreated.
Novel, yeah, because it's like, I mean, shout out to Nameless, like keeping the life of the track
going, and it's a fantastic song too. One of my favorite songs of all time.
It is. I think it's arguably in Kenya's top 10 songs of all time.
Yeah,
I feel
arguably. Like. If some people would argue with you, you definitely get arguments.
Some people, that's why I said that's why I said arguably. Yeah. Some people would completely vehemently disagree with me, but I think it deserves to be there. You know my stance from even earlier in this podcast. I'm interested in new content because I worry that we're just always just going back to the past and we're trying to rely on nostalgia a little bit too much. But I don't have any qualms about it happening few and far times in between because it's nice. It's like, oh, okay, wow, I forgot about that song and it's now being brought back to life. So when it happens sometimes, I'm okay. Oh. But a lot of times then we're like, bro, can we just try and create more?
And it takes genius to actually make it sound good. Some people will just recreate it and it's just like, because we've had some songs that have, we've not had many recreations, but we've had some songs that have blatantly sampled, like taking a hook or taking a something like that, and they haven't really stuck. So it's not for everyone. It's not for all artists, not for everyone. But moving on, Bridget Blue dropped Niwewe. Really cool song. I've definitely enjoyed that one. Kinoti and Mike's Quest, is that what it is? Dropped
Mike's.
It's Mike's. Dang, sorry. Mike's Quest dropped Unlove You. Kinoti, is really good to see you outside. Thank you for releasing music. And yeah, man, Kinoti. See, the thing about some artists is that you get the hype and then you just chill and then you learn to coast on the hype. You don't know how much people are fiending for some music. Unlove You is a really good song. Kinoti's vocals are very good. The beat is also interesting. It's definitely away from the Afro R&B that he is sort of known for. This one is heading more towards like a hip hop R&B-ish sound. But it's really fantastic. I absolutely loved that one. Manifest that we talked about earlier with Major and Toxic Lyrically. Interesting because they gave us a concept. They're doing a concept, and the concept obviously is manifestation. So it's good. Of course, Major is good. I don't think this is Major's strongest performance, but Major is really good for this kind of idea. And just telling stories. And not just telling stories, but I think he tells stories that a lot of people can relate to, at least in the Kenyan scene. So I think that's and he came out of the gate doing that. So shout out to him, man. And Toxic Lyrically, obviously, still releasing some music. That's good. In between the beefs, at least we get to hear one or two songs. So shout out to him. Fancy Fingers also dropped a couple of joints. He teamed up with Laika. on a track called Out of Time. And then he also released a song called The One, which he dropped a video for. So yeah, he is starting off the year with a little bit of pressure. So shout out to him. Shout out to him as well. Yeah, I also went through the Crystal Asige's project, Blinding Allure, but you're the one who put me onto it. Would you want to talk about that a little bit? Pretty interesting.
Okay,
Interesting project.
but I'll talk about it as the last thing. So first I listened to Don't Wanna Lose You by Watanda Willie, part of the Keto soundtrack. They're doing something good. Also, shout out to them. Speaking of, the Kodong clan had their Valentine's show happen over the weekend, and it looks like it was a huge success. So I was just thinking, the whole Kodong clan concept really worked in terms of they were leveraging all their different fan bases and just making a super group. And it allows them to throw huge events as opposed to united we stand, divided we fall. So yeah, shout out to Kodong clan and Watenda Willie. I also listened to the song Staki Wende by Paroti, Riat Benta, and Official Barna. And then I listened to Nasty by Dinaso Wegoso and Odiwa Muranga. Was a very interesting listen. And then Acheng dropped I believe it's an entire project. I listened to the song We, and Acheng has vocals, man. So I really want to hear more from Acheng. But like as Sam mentioned, I did listen to the Blinding Allure 2 by Crystal Asige. Really, really interesting listen. Produced primarily by Wuod Omollo, mixed and mastered by Hendrik Sam. So, it already has all the elements you need to create good music. And also you look at the features, Costa Ojoang, Nviri, and Okello Max, and you're like, okay, you have an idea of where this is going. Really enjoyed listening to this project. I feel like the last 2 songs could have been done without. This could have been a 5-song EP, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But I'm just going to say, the first 5 songs, listening to that, phenomenal. I was like, wow, like I'm really drawn into, I'm really pulled under.
Just before you continue,
what I'm listening to.
That's a criticism, just briefly, that's a criticism that I think a lot of people I've heard a lot from a lot of artists. Because of course, as we got into the streaming era, you want to put more songs on the project so you can get. Now, I'm not saying this is what happened here, but then you want to put more songs on the project so you can get more streams. But then I've a lot of criticisms from albums that have been released later. I mean, recently is maybe we need to go back to the 11-song concept, and by 11-song I mean like just the compact. The compact project, and just being very bullish on.
Oh, Sam is dissing J. Cole. Sam is saying J. Cole was doing too much.
People have said
J. Cole
that projects coming out sometimes they do seem to be overburdened, and artists put a little bit too much on there. But then again, it's their art. Let them, as long as it's not driven by business and I want money, even though we know that's what it is. But yeah, that's a criticism that's been going on.
Well, for this project, I wouldn't say it's more of that. Maybe it's just a taste thing. Yeah. Me personally, I like things that are very concise. I feel like the song 6 and 7 just felt like not very. I don't think the motivation to adding them was led by the streaming things or whatever.
But probably not. Yeah, especially not in this region. Yeah.
Yeah, because bro, if this was just song 1 to 5 of me, I'm like, whoa, this is a really good project. But it is a good project. And I was really, really specifically impressed by the song Sema. The thing I really, really like about this song was the hook. The hook sounds really, really phenomenal. I think they did a good job on this song. And it is the song that I'd like to play for the end of the podcast. So shout out to Crystal Asige for the project Blinding Allure 2. And you guys are about to listen to the smooth sounds of the song Sema, featuring Okello Max.
Kama una shida sema, kama una shida sema, mahaba ni tamu ila sumu kinyamaza. Kama una shida sema, ulinipa sikio nikapea wazo langu, ulinipa mkono nikaweka roho yangu, kaniangalia sikuweza jifahamu, kajishawishi yako ni mbavu yangu, ulinikosea mume kakuvumilia we, na sasa sioni mbele kwani huongei, njoo uniambie bebe, usinyamaze bure, mapenzi yetu yarejee.
Nikamwaga roho yangu, sijui kuwa singo, na mwisi ule wangu, naendanga nikirudi ni ujana, na kiburi si ujanja, si vizuri hii michezo ya tauni, akirudi si unirudie, mpenzi ni hurumie, siazitaka wanichungie shamba langu wanyunyuzi. Okello mama pala dudu kaweche oketore, Wonsiro muga kamisari koro sandore. Okello mama pala dudu kaweche oketore, Wonsiro muga kamisari koro sandore.
Kama una shida sema, mahaba ni tamu ila sumu kinyamaza. Kama una shida sema, sema, sema. Kama una shida sema, mahaba ni tamu ila sumu kinyamaza. Kama una shida sema.
That was Sema by Crystal, Asige, and Okello Max. Make sure you all go check out Blinding Allure too. Really good music. The musicality of the project, by the way, is very good. The production is phenomenal, and the mixing as well. You know bro, when you're listening to This Is Hendrix, Sam, Do Anything, bro, it's always gonna be high quality. So yeah, man. Yo, guys, that was another episode of the 30% podcast, a podcast created and brought to you to highlight and champion Kenyan music and also harbor my terrible jokes. You know, it was just, this podcast was built for those two things.
It was built for the first one.
Really,
That second one you just threw in there. You just threw that one in there, and I'm not letting that slide. Nope.
Well, Sam is very strict. Anyway, we created this podcast.
Don't make it seem like no. Yo, these narratives. Yo, let's finish this thing, man. These narratives you're painting now is going to, and people will. Anyway, it's fine. I am who I am, but I'm not that.
Okay. So like we said earlier in the podcast, this podcast was created because we want to see Kenyan artists paid more and played more. If you're new here, I usually end the podcast with the 3 C's, which is a mantra that I devised for myself in my artist journey. the first C is confidence. You always have to be confident about your art, which is I think this is why I felt so. I had this conflicting thoughts when we went to the We Are Nubia listening party. It's like, yo, I need you guys to be confident about all your songs. You know, that's what you need to sell to us if you're putting those songs out. Number 2, consistency. Consistency beats talent every day. If you're not consistent, forget about it. Being talented means niche in the industry. You have to be consistent. And number 3, craft. Always work on your craft. Every day, spare some time to progressing. Watch a tutorial, read something, spend 5 minutes learning something new about your chosen craft. And I promise everything will line up and you will become better at your craft. Sam.
And with those wise words,
English is hard. English is hard.
Yes, it's been hours of talking. With those wise, we'll save yourself. We'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Oh, that's how you're ending it. You don't want to say.
You always want me to say something, and I've not said something in the past. No. All right. Happy Valentine's. Happy Valentine's. Oh, no, but that's already done. No, we don't need to say anything, man. Goodbye. We'll catch you guys in episode 170. And yeah, play Kenyan music. Support your friends.
We're getting up there. We're almost at the 200s.
Almost 30 episodes away.
Crazy.
Look at you almost.
Ooh.
You're almost is 30 episodes away.
Do the maths. Do the maths, man. 30% podcast, 30 episodes away. Like it's wow. Thank you for pointing that out to me, Sam.
It was 31 episodes last episode. So
yes, but now it's 30 and this changes everything.
Jeez. All right, man. Yeah, 30 episodes away from the big 200. That will absolutely change Afam's life. We'll catch you guys in episode 170. Goodbye.